Back on the Up and Adam Show, my next guest, a tight end out of the University of Miami, 2024 second team All-ACC selection, and somebody who finally somebody who matches my takes on bears. If you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear. I too, Elijah, think that I could beat up a bear, outrun a bear. I don't think a bear would want this smoke, and I'm glad you feel the same way.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me on here. You know, I'm
How
excited.
are you this morning? I think you should lead with that when you have these meetings. You walk in the combine, Sean Payton, I can beat a bear. Let me tell you why. Tell me why you could. Tell me why we should help the bear, not you.
Hey, it's a mentality thing. That's all it is.
Okay.
But I really tweeted that because we had beat Cal. That was like right after the Cal game, so we had beat the Golden Bears.
Yeah. I love that. I did not know that. I just enjoyed. I famously think that bears aren't scary, and I get a lot of grief for that in my career.
Really?
Thinking that I just think they're lazy. Like look at the bears, Elijah, that we know of. Winnie the Pooh, gummy bears. Like bears are cute and fuzzy, and like bears don't want none of that.
They scary though. I feel like a bear would be my spirit animal.
Okay. Wait, I like that. And then you just still beat the Cal Bears like you did. I love that. You lived, my friend. I'm so excited to know you. I'm so excited for your week. I can't believe this is 8-9 days away that you get to find out where you're going. You spent some time in Mexico for 6 years growing up. You learned the game of football, American football, in Spanish. Can you give me some phrases? What are some things that your coaches used to tell you?
I mean, it's really the same thing. You go inside zone. Yeah, that's zona. A corner route is esquina. That's corner in Spanish. It's all the same thing. It's just, in a different language.
Okay, love that. Let's take you back to how do you say touchdown in Spanish?
It's just touchdown.
Oh, touchdown.
Or maybe anotación, but usually they just say touchdown.
Okay, well, I want to take you to an anotación that I need you to talk me to of the monster variety. Right. You, Georgia Tech, it is not every day, my friend, that I see a tight end / bear take it from the house from 74 yards out. Talk me through this.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a switch first concept right here. Me and Cam were on the same page. I turned around, the ball basically caught me, so I didn't have a choice. Fell into my hands and I ran with it. My first thought was, you can't get caught.
We're talking about speed and all these things. My favorite part of this is looking at the speed. Like it is unbelievable. The internet told me that you hit a top speed of 21.8 miles per hour on that play. And I think you're kind of coasting once you realize everybody gives up on chasing you. Could you go even faster than that?
I don't know, honestly. I was running for my life right there for the first 40, 50 yards.
Unbelievable speed. And it looks like everyone thought Cam was throwing the slant. And then the whole defense is like, buys it and they react to it. And then Sam Brown, the receiver, looked like he expected it too. How did he fit that ball in there to you?
I don't know. He's a magician.
Okay. Tell me more. Our number 1 overall pick, potentially and likely. Talk to me.
That's all I'm going to say. There's really not much to be said, honestly.
What will you miss most about playing with Cam Ward?
Really just how he brought the team together, honestly. Hopefully, I go into a good situation where they have, great leaders on the team. So, it can be a similar type of situation like that. But yeah, he really just brought us all together from day one. And like his talent was elite. There's no question about that.
We're going to talk a little bit more about him because he obviously will be the number 1 overall pick. You had a big part of that. I was talking to the GM, Mr. Borgonzi from the Titans about him, and he said he's good at everything. He's good at golf. He's good at this. Outside of football, what would you say that he'd be the number 1 pick in? What activity?
Outside of football?
Yeah.
People say he's tough at basketball. I've seen him play basketball. I disagree.
Why?
Maybe he wasn't taking it serious, but man, he thinks he's Steph Curry out there just pulling from deep, man. Honestly, probably anything he puts his mind to. He's a great competitor. And he wants to be the best at anything that he's doing. You know, we could be anywhere. We were fishing one time. He was over here talking trash because he caught more fish than me, he caught one fish.
What would you be the first round pick in outside of football? First
Ooh,
overall pick.
first overall pick.
Clearly basketball, sounds like.
I don't know, honestly. That's a great question. Uh, Maybe baseball. I think if I would have
Really?
taken baseball seriously, yeah, I could have done some damage.
Okay. Wait, I love that. And I was looking at some of your highlights this morning. Like you truly, I think you could do anything. It's a hard question to answer. I don't know that I have seen what stuck out to me, like as a tight end to get yourself so open that consistently, like every highlight, every little YouTube, everything. What is the trick? What is the trick to making the defense lose track of you?
I mean, I can't tell you all my tricks, but I'm just gonna say my trainer told me this. He said you got to get married to get divorced, so you can't be afraid of getting close to a defender to create
Okay.
separation. That's
You got to
one
get
little hint I
okay. You
brought.
got to put
That's a nugget
your
right
heart
there
out
for
there.
you.
Wait, I love that. Sports Illustrated, your draft profile said you use deception and savvy to get open. Do you think that's accurate?
I would say so.
Yeah. It doesn't, I mean, maybe it comes easy to you, but you dealt with some adversity. I think that's what makes players better, and they go through things, and, negative or darker times like that ACL injury had to suck, right? You missed most of 2022 and 2023. You've credited that time to helping you. I love hearing that. I loved reading that, not even as a player, but also as a person. What was more difficult, the physical rehab or the mental part?
The mental for sure. I mean, I'm a tough guy. I feel like, the pain was bearable for me. It wasn't the worst pain in the world.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's really just the mental aspect. You're in there in the rehab room for almost a year, just trying to get back to, where you were. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a long process. You're in there every day. There's some days where you kind of plateau. You feel like you're not getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you really got to be mentally strong just to keep going and stay persistent.
And then what happened? Because I think it's a perfect story. You get back on the field and you were shot out of a freaking cannon. Breakout season, once fully healthy, highs and catches, yards and touchdowns. How did that happen after that injury?
Well, really, I mean, when I had my injury, I was able to take a step back, not exactly from the game of football, but just like from being on the field. And I mean, I got to watch a lot of film, and I really understood, um, just different, different roles, different jobs within the offense, as well as, just learning the defense. Um, Once I really learned and tune into all of that, it kind of slowed the game down for me. That's why, I was able to play fast. I look so quick on film because I have certain hints on the field that kind of, uh, narrow things down for me. And it makes it easier for me to play.
Well, congrats on your career on making it through that adversity. I think that matters a lot in the NFL where there's plenty of it and the best kind of get through it and are better on the other side. And they take the time away to step back and like see things as a man, as a player. Even like when you're talking about Cam Ward, you talked about him as a leader first. You talked about the human part of it. I think that thinking that way is going to serve you really well on this level. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait to see where you're going to go. It feels like the combine was forever ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I feel like I've
Um,
been training for this forever, and it's finally here. It's wild, but now like looking back at it, it kind of feels like it went by fast.
Yeah, and you've had all of these visits, but at the combine, you met with one of my favorite teams. You met with the Broncos, and they're my favorite because they're a little nutty, they're very detailed, and they're intense. Those are my three words. I'd like you
Hmm.
to describe your visit with the Broncos at the combine in your three words.
I'm not gonna lie, I've had so many visits since that one. It's kind of a blur, but I
Mm-hmm.
do remember talking to Coach Payton. That was pretty cool. He has a history of having success with Miami tight ends. Uh, so I remember just chopping it up with him about that. Um, But yeah, other than that, the visit went well. Uh, everybody in the room seemed pretty cool. Obviously, it was an interview, so they're gonna try to test me, but I enjoyed it.
Did he make you shake out your backpack like he did with Bo Nix?
No, he did not.
He didn't.
Nah, he made him
Interesting.
shake out his backpack.
Yeah, he made him, and he like fell in love with him right then and there. Because he had like, I would have like
Oh,
bubble
that's
gum and
funny.
video games, but
Yeah,
he had nothing. He had all football-y stuff like tape and
yeah.
whatever. But you guys hung out. You guys talked about Jimmy Graham. I mean, there's some Jimmy Graham to you.
hmm Jimmy Graham, Jeremy Shockey, he had both of those guys.
How much? And he talked about them. I can't imagine.
Um,
Okay.
oh, go ahead.
Well, I want to you go to the board at those meetings. I want to know how many different alignments he made you drop off from how many different places?
Can't remember. I think we probably learned about 6 different formations, probably like 2 or 3 plays.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, you can't remember because you've had what is that? What a flex by you. I can't remember. I've just had like so many NFL visits.
Oh man.
You had
Nah, man.
30. I counted. You had 30. Browns,
Did
Texans,
I?
Giants. Yeah. And no, you hadn't had 30, but you had some. You had Browns, Texans, Giants among them. Have those happened still? Like those 3 teams, or you still have one coming right now?
No, I just got finished with all of them.
Okay. And anything stick out from those Browns, Texans, Giants, or any of the other ones? If there's
Uh,
one that stuck out to you, what was it? Clearly not the Broncos.
I mean, I didn't even know you knew about those. Honestly, I was told to keep those confidential. So
Oh.
I'm not even gonna say anything
Oh,
about
okay. Got it. Okay, then maybe we could talk about your quarterback a little bit more. No, you don't want to talk about that either. Was there a tight end? You said that when you were hurt, you were like studying tape. Was there a tight end that you were looking at?
it. I mean, nobody specific. I mean, I feel like there are a lot of guys. I was watching all the Miami tight ends: Kellen Winslow, Jeremy Shockey, Jimmy Graham, David Njoku. Um, but yeah, I mean, we have a lot of greats coming out of that came out of Miami. So just being able to watch that was pretty cool.
I interviewed Ashton Genty this week, and I know that there's like a Frisco crossover. He was in Italy, you were in Mexico, but then when's the first time that you heard the name Ashton Genty? Do you remember?
I remember we played against him my junior year of high school. He was, I think, a sophomore.
Hmm.
He played safety and he was their backup running back, and they were killing us. They had Marvin Mims as well at receiver. So we was just triple teaming him the first half. And I remember the 2 running backs were just going crazy. So then we had to, try to stop the run, and then Marvin Mims goes for 3 touchdowns in the second half. But yeah,
Yeah,
they were a
so
solid team.
crazy. It all comes back to the Broncos. No, yeah, he was there. Ashton played some safety. You're totally right. And this is when you were at Independence High School down there in Texas. And then you got to be part of Dallas Day, right?
I don't think I went to that.
You didn't go to visit the Cowboys?
The local day, yeah, I went to that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
What is that like? What is that whole experience like? I feel like, Ashton Genty went, we talked about it. What is that day like?
I mean, it was cool. It was special just being in my hometown. It was a little 15-minute drive to get there. So that was pretty cool. I have my family down there right now.
Mm.
But yeah, it was a good experience. Cool coaches. The facility's nice. I would say that.
The
It's
Star? It's
huge too. Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah.
hmm
I don't know what it is about Frisco, but I was, when I was talking to Ashton, I was like, Boise State, all of that. And he was a 3-star recruit. I can't, and you're saying like, you remember him in that game from high school and how great he was. Like I'm trying to piece together how this guy was overlooked in that kind of way in high school.
I feel like there's so much competition in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys get overlooked, honestly. But he ended up where he was supposed to. You seen what he's done, from there.
You mentioned your family and they're all down in Frisco. I imagine they have a rooting interest with the Cowboys, but you're going to go wherever you go, and I'm sure you'll be happy where you go. But I saw this photo of your family at your last game as a Hurricane, and I just had to show it to you in this interview. Who do you think in this beautiful family? Look at that smile on your face. What do you think when you see this?
Man, I just love all of them, man.
Who do you think has
Our
the
people.
biggest reaction when you get drafted?
Biggest reaction. Probably my nana or my mom.
Really?
The two on the left to me, yeah.
Latori's your mom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then there's your Nana over there, which I love. Okay, I asked you a bunch of questions. I want to know the weirdest question you've been asked in one of your your team visits.
Weirdest question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Nah,
Elijah?
I'll be so locked in during the interviews. I don't think I've really got any weird questions, honestly.
Okay. Well, then I love that for you. And I would have brought a bear in and had you race it. That's what I would have done if I was in charge of one of those teams. So you're very lucky about that. You have a great smile. You are an incredible athlete. I cannot wait to see how you tear up the league wherever you go. Good luck to you, Elijah Arroyo, and enjoy this journey. Like 8 days away, you finally get to find out.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. We'll talk to you down the road, of course. Good luck at the draft. We'll see where it all shakes out. And we'll be back after this.